Yo, yo, yo. Yo, yo, yo. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy RJ. If I sound a little weird, I came down with a little chest cold last weekend. If for some reason it hit right after the last podcast. But throughout the week, I've been fighting it. I'm finally starting to get past it. So if I sound a little weird this week, that's the reason. But nevertheless, that's not going to stop your boy from grinding. Yeah, we're still on the grind. So we got some very interesting topics this week. And I think, as the week progressed this week, they were, catching my eye. So pretty excited for the topics this week. Oh shit, there's something on my mic. Hold on. Can't really tell, like lint or something. Anyways, I'm pretty excited for the topic this week. So let's go ahead and not waste any time. Thank you for showing up to episode 6 of the We Game podcast, featuring your boy RJ. We're going to get into the first topic of the week. So, I'm going to put this on loop real quick. The first topic is actually, hasn't really been discussed across the industry. I've noticed. I don't know why, because it's interesting. Maybe it's the game, right? But Sony-owned company releasing game only on PC and Switch. I have not seen anybody talking about this. So this is the second game that is getting a release that will be missing PlayStation consoles. People are probably wondering, like, yo, what's the first game? Like, what is the game that's outside of this game, right? And I'm going to mention this game in a second. But the Legos Horizon game will be missing PlayStation consoles. Now, it won't be missing current gen consoles, meaning PS5s, but it will be missing PlayStation 4, aka last gen consoles. That Legos Horizon game will not be on the PS4. It will be on PlayStation 5 and Switch. Whereas this game here that we are speaking about today, that for some reason the industry is not really wanting to talk about, Fate Stay Night Remastered, is only coming to Switch and PC. This is a PlayStation Sony-owned studio, by the way, that is making a game that is not coming to the PlayStation platform, period. And I'm really curious as to why. I haven't really looked into the topic, but I do have an article here. So why the trailer for this game, it looks like a Japanese or Chinese game. Looks like a Japanese or Chinese game. So I think that's why people are not talking about it. But again, it's called Fate Stay Night Remastered. Go ahead and do some research for yourself. Don't always believe what I say, because I'm human. I can be wrong. But we're going to get into this topic, so let's do it. Fate Stay Night Remastered has been treated to a release date, August 8th, which, oh damn, that's a few days. But that date will only see it reach the Switch and PC, with the game skipping PlayStation consoles despite being published by Sony Group-owned Aniplex Inc. Fate Stay Night is a visual novel developed by the genre veterans at Type Moon. It was originally released on PC in 2004 before being ported to the PS2 and the PlayStation Vita in 2007 and 2012, respectively. It even received mobile ports in 2015, although none of its versions have ever been launched outside of Japan. Come January 2024, Aniplex announced it will be remastering the PS Vita port of Fate Stay Night for the Nintendo Switch and PC. 7 months later, the publisher has now committed to a firm release date for the remaster, August 8th. But its latest announcement has also reiterated that Fate Stay Night will only be landing on Steam and eShop. The Sony subsidiary hasn't elaborated on the circumstances that led to the decision to skip PlayStation consoles with this release. One possible explanation for why Fate Stay Night Remastered isn't coming to the PS4 or PS5 for the time being is that visual novels aren't exactly a massively popular niche on Sony consoles. This genre has historically been by far the most represented on PC, followed by handhelds. The Nintendo Switch has long enjoyed a large selection of high-quality visual novels, but such games aren't as common releases on Sony and Xbox home consoles. It is hence possible that Aniplex deemed a PlayStation version, Fate Stay Night Remastered, not worth pursuing, at least for the time being. So I think that's all we need to know. We don't really need to go any further into this article. Even though it is a visual novel, right? It's like anime vibes, right? There are tons of anime fans on the PlayStation console. There are tons of anime fans that play PlayStation. If they were to market this project correctly and they don't lead people on to make it look like something it's not, I don't see why this game would not, or visual novel, whatever you want to call it, would not be worth putting it on PlayStation. There are tons of people into this type of content. The issue is marketing. If you market it incorrectly and people think it's something, and then the hype starts to trigger and then it doesn't live up to expectations, yeah, then you're going to see a lack of success. But if people are given transparent information, they're given accurate information, there's no reason that it shouldn't do anything, right? And this is a PlayStation IP, meaning that this is a IP that could potentially, lead into other things. But if you don't even expose your audience to it, how do you expect it to ever make any money? I get, yeah, definitely, visual novels are popular on PC. I'm not too much familiar with the Switch, but I know that they are popular on PC. So I get why they're porting it to PC. That's almost a guaranteed. But as far as not even giving your own audience the opportunity to experience content, because that's what it comes down to at the end of the day. I don't want to focus too much on the visual novel component of it. I want to focus more on the fact that Sony has been making very interesting decisions as of late. They are deciding to put content out and not give access to their fan base, i.e., the Lego game Horizon not coming to the PlayStation 4, i.e., Fate Stay Night, the visual novel, not coming to PlayStation, period. These are very interesting decisions that are being made by Sony. And at the end of the day, it all comes down to one thing. It comes down to money, right? They don't see it fit to do certain things because they don't see the return there. And that's the part that's interesting to me. So let me know what you guys think. I'm not going to harp on this topic too long, but I think it is something to take note of, because one thing about when these major corporations make little changes like this, they start with little, they start with little studies first. This is a study. Lego Horizon is a study. And then they move and take bigger risks from there, depending on the feedback that they get or the results that they get from these different studies, from these different projects. So it's just something to take note of, because PlayStation is starting to develop a pattern, and I don't see this pattern ending anytime soon. What is that pattern? Third party and launching content on other platforms, excluding the PlayStation. So that is something that happened this week, or at least was confirmed or was mentioned this week, and nobody seems to talk about it. But I don't know. I think it's a conspiracy going on. People don't like putting out too much anti-PlayStation content, if you know what I mean. Wink, wink. But we're going to be moving on to the next topic. So we were just talking about PlayStation. We got to talk about Xbox. Xbox has some recent news that has came out with their quarterly earnings report. Oh, excuse me. That's coming a little bit later. We're going to move on to a different topic about Xbox. So Xbox has some news about Avowed, actually. So let's go ahead and pull the video up for Avowed while we dive into the news coming from Avowed because I'm very excited. I am very excited for Avowed. Like, very excited. So there's some news coming from Obsidian, which is the studio that is creating Avowed. Also created Fallout New Vegas, if I'm not mistaken. So let's go ahead and get into this article. An Obsidian Entertainment art director updated his LinkedIn page and hints that Xbox's busiest first-party studio may have another title in the works. Obsidian Entertainment is currently working on its first-person fantasy RPG, Avowed, which has shared a lot of exciting gameplay footage over the past several months in the lead-up to its release sometime later this year, though new rumors suggest a delay to 2025. And I think this article maybe was written before, but I think they delayed it to 2025 if I'm not mistaken. Like, it's confirmed it's been delayed. And my thing with delays is I'm not mad when it comes to delays. Now, don't quote me on it because I might be getting the delay switched up with Stalker 2 because Stalker 2 just got delayed. So I might be thinking of Avowed, but really I'm thinking of Stalker 2. So just take that with a grain of salt. But for the sake of, just staying accurate to this information, we're going to say it's rumored that it's been delayed to 2025. Now, my thing with delays is I think delays are necessary. Why do I think they're necessary? Because we get situations like Cyberpunk 2077 where the game is not functionable, is many bugs, and people are not satisfied with the content. Or you get games like Assassin's Creed Unity where the games are actually good games, but because they didn't get delayed, people pass on the game or people buy the game, see it's a piece of crap because it's still in its early stages. They're not releasing broken games. They're releasing games that are not finished, and that's the issue. And then whenever they finally patch the game up, right, and then you're able to play the game in its full feature complete version, nobody wants to play the game no more because they feel like they got burnt, right? Or they have this disdain for these specific games and they don't even want to give it an opportunity or a try, and then it ends up hurting the game, it ends up hurting the studio, and it ends up hurting any type of sequels to the game or the franchise that we would get in the future, right? So it's a multi-level damage that happens when they release these games too early. So I'm not mad that Avowed is going to possibly get delayed because I would rather take a delay than a half-baked ass game and I play it once and don't play it again because maybe it's not living up to the hype once they fix it, right? So I'm not mad about that. But it looks like they're dropping it. They might be working on a new title. Ever since Xbox's buyout of Obsidian Entertainment in 2018, the acclaimed RPG maker has been considered Xbox's workhorse studio due to the sheer number of projects it has had in active development. Under Xbox, Obsidian released The Outer Worlds, a banger. I'm actually playing through that right now. I put it aside. It's on my backlog. But, yeah, I played through a decent amount of The Outer Worlds. I've thoroughly enjoyed it, which was published by the private division at the time due to the pre-existing contract. The incredibly popular backyard survival sim Grounded, I forgot they made Grounded, and the 16th century murder mystery adventure game Pentiment, which became a critical darling. With all this going on, Obsidian also had Avowed and a sequel to The Outer Worlds in development across several different teams all at the same time. It seems Obsidian Entertainment has more in the tank as the updated resume of one particular employee would suggest. Daniel Kabuko, an art director who just recently joined Obsidian Entertainment, updated his resume on LinkedIn. Yo, LinkedIn be having the leaks. They be trying to claim these hackers be leaking and getting into their databases and getting terabytes of information. Them hackers ain't got shit on LinkedIn. These motherfuckers be finding all type of leaks on LinkedIn. But the art director who just recently joined Obsidian Entertainment updated his resume on LinkedIn to include a unannounced title in the works at Obsidian. Not much else is known about this mysterious unannounced title, whether it's a smaller scope passion project like Pentiment or Grounded. It's completely unknown. As the Fallout franchise received a surge of hype and interest thanks to the release of its mega popular Amazon series earlier this year, many fans have been hoping for Obsidian to be given another chance to make a new Fallout game, as Bethesda will remain occupied with the Elder Scrolls 6 for years to come, and Obsidian's Fallout New Vegas is considered a fan favorite of the franchise. However, there's a good chance this new title may be a smaller passion project, with support for Grounded having recently been wrapped up. There's a chance this new project could be the same team moving on to something new. Whatever the case may be, the existence of another new project at Obsidian could indicate the Outer Worlds 2 may also be progressing well. If it weren't, these freed up developers would have likely been sent to the Outer Worlds 2 team instead of spinning up a new project. So I love to hear this. Obsidian has slowly, become one of my favorite Xbox studios. Very underrated, very disrespected. And the reason why I say they're disrespected is because people don't like to put the respect on Obsidian's name that they deserve. Obsidian has dropped heat. Like, for real though, when Obsidian drops a game, their quality, in my opinion, sometimes supersedes Bethesda. Like, I have to be honest with you, I'm not a huge Fallout guy, even though I've been playing Fallout London and loving it. And I don't even know why I like Fallout London, but I don't really like the other Fallout games. It's weird. But Obsidian, I have not played an Obsidian game outside of like Fallout New Vegas that I really didn't like. I love the Outer Worlds. I'm sure I will love Avowed, right? I didn't get a chance to play Pentiment. I got a chance to play Grounded, but it's not really my style of game. Let me go ahead and restart that last video. Shout out to Mortimus Gaming. Yes, I mess with dude. But I forgot. I lost my train of thought with my last point. But nevertheless, Obsidian is very disrespected, right? They need to put some more respect on Obsidian's name. And I cannot wait to see what this passion project is going to be. A lot of the times I'm starting to notice in the industry, and you really notice it more on the indie scene, but we're starting to even see it on the AAA scene, that these passion projects are really the bangers. These AAA billions of dollars pushed into these games, they're coming out like bullshit. They're taking all this freaking money and giving us bullshit. They're giving us motherfucking 2K25 with 1 million microtransactions and charging us a premium price. But these indie studios and these passion projects are staying true to the history and respecting the gamer in the process. They're giving us quality projects, right? So I'm excited to see what they do with this passion project. Hopefully the Outer Worlds 2 continues to have a pretty smooth development process, so this passion project, can come out relatively soon. The Outer Worlds 2 can come out relatively soon, and then Elder Scrolls 6 as well. I hope all that, because I think Bethesda is like over Obsidian, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong. But that is the exciting news for Obsidian fans. There is another potential project in the works, unannounced, and we will keep updated on this story whenever that finally does get announced. So we're going to be moving on to the next topic. This is we started on the good news. We got to move on to the bad news. So, Game Informer, this ain't going to be a long topic. I'm going to kind of breeze through this one. Game Informer shuts down after thousands. Okay. Game Informer is shutting down. So, for those who do not know what Game Informer is, and you're a gamer, I'm honestly thoroughly surprised, and I would assume you're under the age of like 20. But Game Informer is a magazine that you can subscribe to. You get monthly editions of the magazine. It's a gaming magazine that we all grew up with. I remember when I used to go into GameStop, and I would be either waiting on the line, to dwindle down so I could get up to the cash register to either trade in my games or purchase a game. I would be waiting in line, and I would always pick up that month's Game Informer and just read it, right? And it will always keep me so gripped and hooked. So it's like this journalists, or I don't even know are they called journalists? Like, right? This medium or this platform shutting down is like for real the end of an era. Literally at the end of the era. They have been around since I can remember. Literally. And I've even purchased throughout the years multiple Game Informers myself, like with different pre-orders and stuff. So like seeing this go, is sad. I think this is like they're literally the last, physical news gaming media platform that was out. Like I have never heard of any other gaming magazine where I can go to the store and purchase a gaming magazine. They were everywhere. They were in Walmart, GameStop, Best Buy, right? So, shout out to all those people that lost their jobs, and hopefully they'll be able to bounce back. They have, that's a very reputable name in journalism, and I'm sure they can find work at one of these other platforms. But it's just not going to be a physical media platform, unfortunately. So, shout out to them. I wanted to speak on them real quick. But we're going to be moving on to the next topic. So, EA, man. EA hypes up the next Battlefield game. So, we're beginning the cycle again. What do I mean by that? RJ, what do you mean we're beginning the next cycle again? We are beginning the next cycle of EA hyping up a Battlefield game, and we have yet to see anything substantial. EA is in my opinion, they're doing this wrong. What do I mean by that? Y'all had a major fail with Battlefield 2042. So your whole marketing push for this new game should not be, oh, we're trying to be the most ambitious we've ever been. Should not be our marketing, because y'all told us that with 2042 with them crazy trailers. Your marketing should be more of a, we understand where we messed up. We know what you guys want. We hear you guys. Let's give you guys what you guys are asking for. A grounded, boots on the ground Battlefield experience akin to Battlefield 3. Battlefield 3, by most fans in the community, is recognized as the best Battlefield game. Excuse me while I drink some water. My throat's getting a little dry. Like I said, if I sound weird or whatever, please make it through with me this week. I am just getting over a chest cold. But back to EA. So let's go ahead and see what EA is talking about. Electronic Arts CEO Andrew Wilson is attempting to hype Battlefield fans up for the series' next entry, calling it the most ambitious project in the studio's history. While details on the next Battlefield game are scarce, Wilson says EA has brought together the best team to deliver an epic Battlefield experience. Battlefield 2042 received largely negative reviews, when it launched in 2021, with many citing technical issues and poor performance as the core reason. But fans of the series believed it had potential at its core, resulting in almost 3 years of post-launch support from EA and 7 seasons worth of new content. EA's dedication to the controversial title has led to Battlefield 2042 surpassing over 25 million players over the last 12 months, according to EA CEO. Wilson also says that the game's massive fan base is energized by what the team is doing and what's coming next. During a financial earnings report for Q1 of 2025, EA CEO Andrew Wilson briefly touched on the next Battlefield game. They said 2025, but maybe they meant 2024. Andrew Wilson briefly touched on the next Battlefield game and the current state of Battlefield 2042. As support for Battlefield 2042 will end after Season 7, EA is shifting its focus to the next Battlefield game, which Wilson says isn't just one of the studio's top priorities, it's also one of the most ambitious projects in EA's history. I think this is a whole bunch of marketing mumbo jumbo for the stockholders, for the investors, for the people that are opening their wallets up to millions of dollars. This was going to be said regardless if 2042 crashed or burned or was a box office hit. It was good. That statement was going to be made regardless. So I take these statements with a grain of salt. He's talking about most ambitious game ever. He's talking about, 25 million players over the last 12 months. When you really check the temperature of the Battlefield community is upset. They just announced that they're closing the servers down for possibly Battlefield 4 and was it Bad Company or Battlefield 3? So that's crazy. And 2042 is not the game people wanted, right? At all, right? So, to say all this, you have to take it with a grain of salt. You have to. Because these guys are bogus for real. These guys are very bogus for real. All right. So, while EA insists that it has listened to the Battlefield community, Battlefield 2042's 7th season wasn't without controversy. Many of the game's updates added a plethora of new maps, weapons, and quality of life improvements. But its final season sparked outrage after many realized that one of the 2 new maps was simply a small section of a much larger map. Oh, excuse me, y'all. Which is crazy. They did that in Season 1, I want to say. They did that in Season 1. And, that's just that's a lazy thing to do. So, we really can't trust DICE right now. We got to take what they say with a grain of salt. And, just be skeptical at the end of the day. But we're going to move on to the next topic. Excuse me real quick, y'all. 1 second. All right, so we're going to be moving on to the next topic. Star Wars Outlaws director responds to criticisms of protagonist appearance in the game. So people really hating on this protagonist animations. Honestly, y'all, we might need to save these topics for next week, because I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this one this week, y'all. Your boy is not feeling the best. But, yeah, we will resume this next week. And, you know, we gonna make next week count. Like I said, no days off. We made it 30 minutes into this week. But, yeah, I would rather save the topics for next week than give y'all bad quality content. So, if you made it this far in the video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you haven't. And I will catch you on the next week's podcast, episode 7. Starting on Saturday between 7 p.m. and 8 p.m. It's your boy RJ. I'm going to catch you on the next one.